So I remember when I was learning Italian from scratch. Fast forward to about 9 months later, and I was able to reach a B2 Italian by myself on my couch without any sort of particular immersion program or going abroad. And now watch until the end of this video because I'm going to give you my complete timeline, resources, and strategic tips if I wanted to reach Italian B1 in 3 months only. Let's start with the most important thing first that you must have in order to build your routine efficiently in Italian. I'm talking about the base resource, which is basically a main resource that you use in order to structure your learning as a solo language learner. So you know exactly what kind of vocabulary, what kind of grammar, etc. you should learn in the order that it is given with the resource. For this, I always recommend Wellesley College's Beginner Italian course. This will cover all of A1 to A2 in about 12 weeks. For finishing B1, they also have an intermediate Italian course to sign up for, which also lasts about 12 weeks and takes 3 to 5 hours per week. It is probably the absolute best resource that I have found for learning Italian on my own, and it is free if you audit. I know that there have been people over the years in some of my resource videos for Italian saying that it is not possible to audit the course for free anymore, but you can still do that. You just have to make sure that you click the button below the certification option, and then you get absolutely all the info for free, including all of the exercises. We have, after our base resource, an optional supplemental resource list below. I didn't really use these as much when using the Wellesley course, just because they already have, as I said before, an immense amount of supplemental exercises to practically apply what you learn right after you learn about it the first time. But if you want even more practice, these are my top recommendations in this list. A big note of advice here, please do not overthink your resources. We can get very stuck in the cycle of thinking in FOMO, right? That we're going to miss something really important if we don't buy all of these courses and books that are available for learning Italian. But honestly, all of these resources teach the same thing. Delivery will be a little bit different, but you are indeed putting yourself at a disadvantage if you try to get everything that you see for Italian. You don't need to take a lot of time searching, honestly. Try one of these at a time if you decide to use another supplemental resource alongside the base resource of the Wellesley College course. And if you don't like it, then simply trade it in for another on this list. I can vouch for all of these programs though, because I have used them. By the way, if you do find that your mind goes blank and or you start to freeze under pressure while you try to speak Italian, I do have a free training that will help you fix that with just 3 minutes a day and only 5 words. So make sure to sign up for it in the comments below. Before we decide on how we are structuring month 1 to month 3 to getting to B1, I want you to decide what you want your overall goal to be in Italian. And this goal is supposed to embody how you will practically apply your skills at a B1, so you have sufficient evidence that you can actually do so. Because just telling ourselves, I want to reach a B1 in Italian is very vague. To standardize what I mean by this, we're going to use the European Framework for Languages definition for what a B1 independent user, quote unquote, can do. Now, this is very focused on an overall goal that is aimed at speaking the language, but it's no problem. And you want to set an overall goal that has more to do with writing or reading or listening, etc. Just make sure, again, that you can write about one or several of the topics above, even with errors. That is a huge celebration to be able to do at B1. Or if you set a reading or listening overall goal, make sure you can comprehend as well those main points of any material that you pick out for your input sources. Setting your plan for months 1 to month 3. Basically, we're going to spend about 1.5 hours per day dedicated only to the Wellesley course for beginners. And you can achieve knowledge of Italian within a B1/B2 level in about 3 months by doing so. You can maybe even accomplish this in a shorter time frame, especially if you already have a strong Romance language background. I want to also mention, because I am all about a holistic approach to learning and not burning ourselves out. If you only have 30 minutes to 1 hour per day, if that is the most sustainable for you, then It might take you 4 to 5 months to reach between a B1 and B2 level sort of knowledge of Italian and finish these courses that I gave as main resources. That is perfectly okay too. Do what works best for your life season. I want to mention that with the way the course is structured, I would not make it a goal to finish one chapter or even like one lesson per study session per day, okay? Because the course is truly very comprehensive. As I said before, you really don't need much of a supplemental resource alongside this main resource of the Wellesley College course if you really don't want to, because the course itself offers plenty of opportunities to practice, and it has a lot of visual exercises too for those who like to learn visually. So focus on just finishing around two sub lessons per study session instead. So you see this full chapter here, and you see the really small units, mini exercises, etc. For month one, we are going to dedicate 60 to 90 minutes to doing 1 to 2 of those sub lessons that I showed on the previous slide per day. Plus, we're going to add additional review time using any additional supplemental exercises. And then for month two, you're going to finish up any A1 to A2 lessons for the courses if you are going at a relaxed pace. If you have been dedicating the time to finish at least 2 of those sub lessons per day during your study sessions, then you can start to review any weak points you noticed working through the A1 to A2 levels, or just the beginner course in general. So you consider any sort of grammar or vocabulary or other structures you either keep on forgetting or you just don't feel confident using. Month two is also a really good time to think about how you are logistically going to achieve your overall goal that you set for yourself at the end of month three. Because as we start to build a basis in a language, then you'll naturally notice that you have gaps that you need to fill that perhaps the Wellesley course as a base resource cannot fully help you implement, right? So if you have a goal of reading through a graded reader for Italian, then work on that specifically as well. Like actually have the book in front of you in addition to working through the Wellesley course and finishing it, okay? I do have a video for setting up your own reading system simply in the card linked above if you are interested in that, or in the description below. If your overall goal has to do more with speaking, this is where in month two, I'd add a conversation lesson. If you want to work on writing, again, see my video for how to master writing in any language above, linked in the description and card above. And if you want to work on listening or reading, but need more ideas for where to find input, shows, YouTube videos, etc., then my Italian resources video is linked as well in the card above or description for you. If you already feel confident and you have finished the beginner Italian Wellesley course in total, this is where you can start with the intermediate Italian course at the middle or the end of month two. Again, we're going sub-lesson by sub-lesson, about 2 hours per day. For month three, you're going to increase speaking to 2 times per week, especially if your goal is to produce the language anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes each per session. The first goal of month three is to finish the B1 intermediate Italian course if you want to be between a B1 to B2. If you just want to reach a B1, then go until the last unit, which is unit 8 on the simple future, and stop there, because the rest of the unit after going into the simple future really get into B2-ish territory. The second goal of month three is to accomplish your overall goal that you set out for yourself all the way back from month one. So for example, if I had a speaking goal to talk with my Italian tutor at the end of month three for 30 minutes, only in Italian, and talk about my likes, dislikes, and travel plans, this is what I would work towards doing in month three and filling in all the necessary gaps that I would need in order to feel confident actually doing it. I would not be aiming for perfection in order to say that I accomplished the goal. I would basically hold myself to the standard of, was I able to be understood, and did I use any, if minimal, English to get by? So really think about what your overall goal for month three would be and how you can adjust your own study routine in order to prove to yourself that you can practically apply your B1 skills in Italian by the end. Okay, you guys, so I hope you enjoyed the routine for Italian that I made for you here, and I hope you have a lot of fun implementing it.